Hey everyone, this is Rosemarie from the Unfinished Lesson, and this is another Quick Win series. In this particular series, we're taking a look at adapting online group lessons for our special learners or our neurodiverse students. Now, keep in mind that a lot of these tips and strategies that I'm sharing in this series, while I'm talking about online lessons, can actually be used for in-person lessons as well. If you haven't watched the previous videos, please make sure that you go down below, watch them, because I've actually been building up in each video and talking about how we can use the strategies from previous videos in different ways. All right, so if you hit pause, you watch those, you're back, awesome. Let's get into video 5. So video 5 is all about the backup plan. The plans of mice and men, right? No matter how well we plan, there are times things are not going to work out. And I've talked about this in a previous video as well from this series. And also, we need to keep in mind that sometimes our special learner is going to be having an off day. It happens to all of us, right? So how can we plan so that even if our student is having an off day, they can still have a good experience? It's a tough one, right? But it doesn't have to be. Okay, so here's the tips. 1, be proactive. In video 1, I talked about how communication is key to making these online group lessons a success. Be proactive and talk with your student and their parent. Okay? What happens if you're feeling overwhelmed? You know what? I always tell my students, it's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes. I sometimes feel overwhelmed. You know, we all sometimes do, but we all handle it differently. So what are we going to do if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you're feeling frustrated? Keep in mind, remember that you guys are a team, especially with families that have special learners. The idea that their music teacher, the person teaching their child an instrument, is part of a team for their kid who genuinely wants to work with them and make it a great experience. I've had moms cry, not from sadness, don't worry, not from sadness, but from relief that there was somebody who cared about their kid, who was going to work with them. And if things weren't working out great, if their kid had an off day, it wasn't like, okay, we're done. It's, okay, let's talk, right? And let's figure out what we can do to help support your child. It's a really powerful thing that you can do. And it's an incredible message to your student as well. Okay, so if group lessons aren't working out right now, and I mentioned this in a previous video, or if your student isn't ready, then what's another option? Don't worry about if your student isn't ready for group lessons right now. There can be tons of reasons why right now is not the right time, and that's okay. Have a backup plan that if they're not going to attend, that this is what they're going to do instead. Easy peasy. Set up a special hand signal. Well, actually, I recommend 2 hand signals. 1, if your student is feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, that they can give you, and that means that they can go off, they can have a little break, and then they can come back. Okay? The second hand signal is if their parent is attending, that it's a signal you can give the parent, a pretty discreet one, that lets them know, okay, you can step in now, or could you step in and help your child without drawing any attention to their child. All right, and this is important. Your special learner may be feeling a little nervous about, well, what if people think that I'm different or that I don't fit in? So what we want to do is make sure that these hand signals, they allow you to communicate, but nobody else needs to know what they mean, right? It's between you and them, but it gives them a chance to get the support that they need without it being a big thing, because it doesn't need to be a big thing. Make sure that you have a backup plan that if your student attends and then is like, I can't do this, that you have a just in case activity. So with one of my little guys, I made sure that I always said those before a group lesson. Okay, you know what? If group lesson is too much, then this is what he's going to do instead. We're going to move him to this area so that he can be away from everybody, because we knew that that was going to be an important thing, the overstimulation that I talked about in, I think it was video 3. He'll be able to be here, not because he's in trouble, but that he can work on this instead. And then make sure that that activity ties in with whatever theme or topic you are covering in the group lesson. And this is important. We don't want it to feel like a punishment. We want it that if your student feels comfortable, they can come back to the group lesson and they can share what they worked on. And you know what? Then all of a sudden, it's just part of what you guys have been doing, what everybody's been working on. So by making sure that it's inclusive in terms of the topic, we're giving flexibility to our students and the parents in terms of how we can best support their child during that time. All right, before you go on with the rest of your day, I have a goal for you, okay? One, set up those 2 hand signals. If the parent is going to attend, it's 2 hand signals, one for the student, one for you. Okay, we want to make sure that your student can get a break before it's too much. So if it's starting to build up, they can give the hand signal, even if it's, you know, whatever it might be. Maybe they want to pat their head, maybe whatever it might be. And then 2, prepare a backup activity that just in case, and that's honestly what I call it. It's a just in case activity. I think you're going to be great at the group lesson. I'm really excited you're going to be there. But you know what? If you're feeling like you need to take a step back, this is what you're going to do instead. And so I talked about in one of the previous videos how important it is to prepare all of that ahead of time. All right, let me know in the comments below. What are the hand signals? Maybe you can tell me what yours is. And also, maybe let me know what one of those backup activities is. I would love to hear from you. All right, now before you go on with the rest of your day, 1, you're going to let me know what those things are. 2, please subscribe. It lets me know that this content is helping you and it's making your life just a little bit easier. Okay, awesome. I look forward to hearing from you below, and I hope you have an incredible day.